Hello, my fellow Americans, brothers and sisters in the cause of freedom and liberty. I am coming back at you again in what I call the bomb shelter. But anyway, I want to talk to you briefly about, for this next video, about the evil plot that actually it started before Obama, but I'm just going to go back to Obama. Obama back in 2008, presidential election stated that that he's going to fundamentally change America. Well, what does that mean? A lot of people have thought one thing or another, but I will tell you exactly what that means. And most people, and you have to, in order to truly know what he meant by that, you have to look at what's been done legislatively during his tenure as president, as well as what's been done before him and what's currently being done now. So President Obama got elected in 2008 under this promise. In 2009, one of the appointments he made for our ambassador to China in Beijing was John Huntsman Jr. Okay, keep those in mind. In 2019, in the U.S. Senate, jumping forward a few years, in 2019, the U.S. Senate passed an investigation regarding the CCP's, Chinese Communist Party, CCP, agenda, the 1,000 talent agenda. This agenda started back in the 90s even, and most aggressively since about 2006. In 2006, 2007 was about when John Huntsman Jr., same candidate, took a bunch of businesses over to China to promote free trade. Well, that sounds good on the surface, but can there truly be free trade if you're conducting business in China? Actually have operations in China. Can you truly be promoting free trade? No, you cannot. The CCP not only owns most of the companies in China, but the companies that moved to China, they still have control. It's a communist, evil, Marxist regime. In fact, Huntsman Jr. stated at that same time that China was far more free market than the United States. Excuse me. There's too much information regarding this subject, but I'm just going to focus on some of the commerce for as of right now. In 2010, Huntsman introduced Herbert, the new Utah governor, to all these same connections, both on both sides of the Pacific, especially in China. While John Huntsman was part of that U.S. Senate investigation passed in 2019, it stated that the State Department have full knowledge, if not cooperation, with the CCP regarding this agenda. Okay, so the State Department, the person that's over the State Department is the President of the United States, as well as every U.S. ambassador. Okay, so how do they help? Huntsman helped expand the EB-5 visa program. EB-5 visa program is for those CCP members, for foreigners that have more than $900,000 U.S. dollars more than 900,000 US dollars. And the average good, hardworking Chinese people do not have that type of money. Only the corrupt, lying, if not murderous, CCP and their affiliates do. So he expanded on while as our sitting ambassador. Obama appointed him. In fact, he gave all kinds of praise to Hillary Clinton, Secretary of State. Hillary Clinton, how often has she been a traitor to the country? Also, one of his former employees when Huntsman was governor of Utah was Mike Lee, U.S. Senator Mike Lee. And for the first term or so of Mike Lee's tenure as our sitting U.S. Senator, helped to expand EB-5 visas for Chinese. Not the Chinese people. Once again, people with more than 900,000 US dollars, which means the CCP. Could it be ignorant? I would hope so, because Mike has actually done a lot of good things. I hope he's ignorant about this agenda. Same thing with Rand Paul. And Rand Paul has done too much good, but in recent years, I saw the same thing from him too, regarding the EB-5 visas. Once again, I like Rand Paul for the most part. I hope Rand and Mike are ignorant about the subject, and if they are, now's the time to repent and make amends, meaning you undo what's been done. In 2012, there was a movie called Red Dawn, regarding the North Korea invading the United States during times of crisis and turmoil and if not anarchy. But the CCP forced the producers of this movie to change that threat to North Korea. The original threat was Communist China, the CCP. Why did they change it? Did they not like something? Or did they get a little bit too close to their agenda? The military arm of the CCP, likes to buy up or form many companies, either in the different countries that they are invading, such as the United States, to purchase companies, farms, land, you name it. And CCP's been doing this for many, many years, and more aggressively now with the CCP virus that they created in Wuhan. But, to not only turn our economics against America and to use our system, our economics against us, but to some extent to give us, to institute our Red Dawn moment in all this. And our Red Dawn moment in all this is for the CCP to fundamentally change the United States or the different states, such as Utah, California, Texas, Idaho, into these industrial zones, these industrialized cities, much like Shenzhen in China, mainland China. Either if they're utilizing the Sister City program, as mentioned in the 2019 investigation report passed by the U.S. Senate, or these different states to form what's called inland ports. Utah, California has some. In fact, the San Diego port is one. Idaho has one that's I think it was about 60 square miles. Utah, allegedly 16,000 miles. Line grab out of Salt Lake County, but according to the legislation, it's actually expanded all throughout all of Utah, wherever the CCP wants to go. So this is the fundamental change that Obama was talking about, and it's the same one that the CCP wants, to establish a new China, an industrial zone. And these going back to the inland ports. The inland ports is crafted from the 1932 legislation, and yes, under the FDR administration, talking about what's been done before, but utilizing that federal legislation in 1932 that FDR signed, establishing foreign free trade zones. Free trade sounds like a good idea once again, but it's not. That's not the case. Foreign free trade zone meaning our laws do not apply. I'll repeat, our laws, American laws, Utah laws, do not apply to these inland ports or these foreign trade zones. They don't, which means CCP comes in, their laws apply, their currency applies, language applies, but ours do not. Going along with the agenda of creating a new China, an industrial zone or industrialized city, you name it. And now you have the Manchurian candidate, that unless God steps in with a miraculous miracle for the people, the Manchurian candidate Huntsman will retake his position as Utah governor, which only furthers the CCP agenda here in Utah. And let me tell you right now, most of the legislation since December last year, since the legislature last year, much of the legislation, a good majority of the legislation, is crafted for the benefit of the CCP. And if you don't believe me, go look at all the campaign financial follow the money. All the follow the money, and there's plenty of proof out there to help you connect the dots. But the campaign financials out there, for most of the legislature, out to the tax hike in December, both in import legislations in 2018 and 2019 show thousands of dollars being spent on delegational meetings overseas. And some of the legislators, such as Andrick, says it's listed as Beijing delegational expense. Or you have others like Kurt Brabel that it showed China delegational meeting, but then he was able to go in and change that. So I'm thinking the next video might be on the CCP virus. But until then, keep up the fight and grow your connection with God, because we need God's help in this fight. Thank you. Bye.